Good day, good evening. Today is May 7th, 2020, the year of our Lord. And I wanted to share something with you all today. Excuse me. I've been reluctant to really make this video for years, but in light of the a lot of recent situations regarding the straight up blatant tyranny and trampling of rights of U.S. individuals, U.S. nationals, U.S. citizens. And it's bigger than rights. Some of these things are guarantees. And I've kept my opinion on that situation to myself. And I really enjoy my privacy. Before we go any further, thank you for tuning in to the InformalWarZone, Episode 5. And we can title this one, My AR, My American Revolution. And I've done some unique things. And I started a process, say, in about 2011 to remove myself from the jurisdiction of the United States. Now, some people may say United States Incorporated, United States Corporation. Let me get this clear. I am not a sovereign citizen, and I repeat, I am not a sovereign citizen. But I wasn't happy with what I was seeing. I've always had certain reservations about government, and I'm not anti-government. I'm very pro-government. But I had some reserves, and I seen the election of Obama and Romney, and I just seen things. And I was like, man, that's not right. That's not right. And on top of that, I'm one individual that before they passed the Affordable Care Act in 2010, I'm an individual that read a majority of the 3,000 plus pages. And I realized real quick that this was not right. And I wanted to remove myself from what I seen as not an oppressive government to the point of like bearing down, but something that was soon to get out of control. Fast forward to now, here we are. But I discovered a document called the Declaration of Executorship. And I basically, I came to an understanding that we're the United States of America. But within the injustices that I saw, I knew about the Declaration of Independence. And we have it's our duty to throw off a government. And I don't believe that the framers of the nation and the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence intended for a bloody revolution or the taking up of arms. But I believe that our system is structured in such a way that if the proper paperwork was filed and you address these things as in a redress of grievance to your government, that they were respected. Now here what I have up is my ACE portal. ACE meaning the automated commercial environment that's put on by the United States Customs and Border Protection. United States Department of Homeland Security, as you see over there. Nevertheless, within these documents in my research, I came across something called the General Post Office. And briefly, because if you go try to find this research, it's pretty buried out there now. But to my understanding, the General Post Office is a seat in Congress, and it's the people's seat. And I basically did the right petitions, set out my Declaration of Executorship, mailed it to my postmasters, and from that I was able to create my own jurisdiction, Edwards Province, and the nation and the unincorporated, unassociated, I guess you could say nation with the protection of the United States and the United States Navy is called American Minor Outlying Islands, also known as United States Minor Outlying Islands. So I took it to the extreme and I decided to create my own government. And I decided to have the United States Customs and Border Protection and Homeland Security recognize it. And while I was at it, I registered my province and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we're here on this website, as you see. And we're going to go in here. Of course, I'm going to block out a lot of things in post. But as you see, it says you are about to access the Department of Homeland Security computer system. This computer system and data therein are the property of the United States government and provided for official U.S. government information and use. So it's not no bull. Let's see. Okay. Now I'm registered as an importer and an exporter. I don't really operate in these fashions, but as you see on this is my broker's account. The name of the government is Cold Cash Government, cash being an acronym meaning Creative Arts Safe Haven. As you see, organizational structure. And then we could go to account owner, and you'll see country, American Minor, Outlying Islands, city, Edwards Province, General Post Office. Then we could go, I mean, it's not really a big deal, but in this I have different organizations as well. So as an importer, I have these different structures. And then as an exporter, I registered my province. So I'm only bringing this up to say the things that these police and sheriffs and the mayors and the governors, you know, there's a limit to how far they can go. I mean, I don't really like to, how should I say it? I'm no better than the next person. I'm just one person who was pretty stubborn and filled out the proper paperwork. But as you can see, this is Cold Cash Government, and over here is my other accounts that I have. International Therapeutic Hemp and Cannabis. Now, don't get me wrong, I got these structures created so that, you know, when time is right, you know, we go. We're ready to rock. But so there's the EIN for We the People of Edwards Province. We go here. Doing business as Edwards Province, aka We the People. Organizational structure, local state government, primary contact. Same deal. Coming here, country, American Minor, Outlying Islands, city, Edwards Province. I'm not saying these things to brag, but so when I see these business shop owners getting arrested and I see pastors getting arrested, also I have a 501c4 organization called Assembly of the Jealous One, and it too is from American Minor Outlying Islands, also known as United States Minor Outlying Islands. And, you know, my EINs were issued by the United States, the IRS and the Department of Treasury. I also created another organization called We the People of America and registered that as well, because I knew this day was coming. And you say, what day is that? The day that the government would take this stuff to the extreme. I've never wanted to waste my time on YouTube and get on here and talk about all the things that I've accomplished and, you know, oh, you're just like me. Like, don't get me wrong, it goes through my head, but ultimately we don't have to go through this tyranny. We don't have to, like, the Constitution is what it is. The Declaration of Independence is what it is. And I have reason to believe, because I've notified the Committee on Foreign Investments within the United States, and they're aware of my structure. I've contacted the Department of Commerce in 2014, Department of State, Hillary Clinton, Eric Holder, James M. Cole, you know, the Deputy Attorney General. All this back then. These people know about this existence. And at a certain level, I feel that, you know, the revolt is like they can never let the people understand the power that they really hold. So now they're like, yo, screw it. Scorched earth will implode this whole thing. I'm not saying that I'm part of that. I know there's many other smart individuals out there, but it makes me wonder within myself, um, why are we getting all like when there's nothing left for a tyrannical government to do, like nothing else to push, and the people are starting to push back, that's when they start arresting people, and they use that force, and that's the clear sign that they have lost. I could care less who president is, but I'll tell you the truth. I need the United States of America to be around, because it would jeopardize my everything that I've done is null and void if there is no nation. You get what I mean? And I'm not ready for that. So, within understanding, uh, let's say the point of government saying that you need to stay in your house, you need to wear a mask, you need to do all these things. It's like, well, this is the exact reason why I remove myself from your jurisdiction. Like I said, I have my own license, I have my own license plate, respected by the county sheriff, and when I go into new places, I notify those, the county sheriff, I notify the governor, I notify the AG, and these things have been respected for a long time. But what's really, I guess, disappointing and disheartening is to understand that we have an internal mutiny going on within our nation, and these governors are doing their own thing, these chief polices and mayors, and I mean, it's getting real ugly, and America wasn't built on a political party, and we wasn't built by a political party. It's the people that drive this engine. And I could talk all day about this. I'm really at a point where I'm about to start putting up press kits and writing out little brochures about my accomplishments, because I was happy when it was just for me. But when I see that they're trying to take this away from everybody, and my son will never get to express just his freedom of assembly. We have churches that are shut down because of, now I'm not even here talking about the CV. I could care less. Your attitudes can't shift due to the crisis of the day. The Bill of Rights is what it is. The Declaration of Independence is what it is. The state constitutions are what they are. In my state, or excuse me, where I'm at, the state constitution says that the first line is pretty much that the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And these people are breaking their oath of office, because that is the check and that is the balance. And if we can't redress you on an accuracy level of saying by which authority do you do these things, because all authority is vested in the people. And I'm all about public health, and I'm all about safety. But at what point do we not quarantine the sick, and we, as they say, have people shelter in place? Well, at a certain point, you're restricting my movement, and at this point, we don't have tanks on the street. People can still get in their car. It's 80% psychological, I mean, but if we allow these measures, these executive orders, and we're not talking about revolt and get into violence, but we're saying, hey, man, we elected you because first and foremost, you took an oath to uphold, protect, defend, and forget all that best of your ability stuff. You're going to do that because, we're not all about anarchy, but we got to get real here. So I'm going to go to this record real quick and end this transmission, because it can get lengthy. So here's my cage code. Please don't contact me. 718. So SAM's system for award management. Anybody who does business with the government understands what this is. You have to have a SAM's registration and passing in order to even do business with the federal government. Once again, same notifications. This is a federal government site for official use only. Code Cash Government. CAGE stands for Commercial and Government Entity. We go to view details. Business type, foreign government. It's coming up on my renewal. And that's pretty much it. That's a base. If anybody's really interested, they'll leave a comment, and I'll try to get back to that. You can see me on Twitter at Code Cash, GOV, code with a K. And like I say, I want to do something. I'm not the organizational type. I love my privacy. That's why I did this, man. I get pulled over, or let's say I've been pulled over before, and I was like, yo, I know you guys don't understand. The guy was like, oh, man, you get out the car, I'm going to pull you out the car. I had my mom, my wife, my son in the car. I'm like, man, dude, calm down, man. All my paperwork's good. And, wrote me some tickets. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm not going to fight with you. But I will be contacting the sheriff in the morning, Contacted the sheriff, the executive secretary, I should say. Sent in my paperwork. Got a call back from third in command, chief of operations, basically, and said, hey, we apologize. I've been on the force 20-something years, really didn't even understand it myself. We won't be doing that again. I was like, well, what do I do with these tickets? He's like, tear them up. We'll put a bulletin to leave you alone. Sorry, Mr. Edwards. It was like, hey, cool, but that's a great deal of responsibility. I'm not taking advantage of that. I'm not out here driving reckless. I'm not out here treating people like they're lower class or lower than, I'm not a wealthy individual. I have a great job. I have a great life, a great family. I play the drums for my church. It's real modest over here. You know what I mean? Make decent living. But the reality of it is I'm in position. So when this government is corrected, which I believe is happening around the world, the hand of God has unplugged this thing. You know what I mean? Because we was ruled by wickedness in high places. And who else can do this but the hand of God? Man plans, God laughs. You know what I mean? So in man's wisdom, it doesn't even match up to any foolish inclination of God, meaning God's foolishness is wiser than all of men's wisdom put together. And that's the trick, because there is no foolishness in God. I'm not saying I did this because I was all radical. I feel that I was led to do these things. I feel that I was led to, I know that, the Creator told me that we're going to do some unique things. But if you go here, look at the address, mailing address, United States Minor Outlying Islands, go to a country drop-down selection sometime and look at the different countries and go down to the U's and see if there is the U.S. Minor Outlying Islands. Now, here's the whole key why I did it. As long as you're under the jurisdiction of the United States Corporation or whatever incorporated, however they want to classify that, I mean, you could go down the rabbit hole on your own. But when you look at it and you say, well, okay, if you're a citizen, you're subject, first of all. I'm a national. I'm an American national. It's one nation under God, indivisible, meaning it can't be divided. So no matter where I'm at in America, if I'm in Maine, it's the nation of Maine. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in Florida, it's still the nation of Florida. You know what I mean? Because it's one nation, but the nation is America. We've got divided by this United States concept. And I already told you, I believe that it's the United East States, because that intellectual property that you call a name is profitable, meaning the government didn't give you your name. Your name was given by your parents or whatever the conjunction is, right? So here's the deal. That is somebody else's intellect. That's two minds coming together or whatever the case may be, but it's your name. It's given to you. No one can take it. But what happens is the state takes it and makes something totally different out of that. But it's cool because they're entrusted with that. And you want all of those benefits to a certain large degree. But it's mainly the protections, because you want to progress together, not in a socialistic aspect, but we do want to drive on good roads. We do want good schools. We do want teachers that make a decent wage that also can spend time with their kids, but that factor of community has been lost, forgotten. So within that, it's able, when you separate when you separate the commonality of everybody doing well, meaning somebody has to gain and somebody has to lose, and we all can't rise together, well, that creates the corruption. And so You don't know what your birth certificate means. You don't know why you have a social security card. I've done all the research. I've done all the stuff. And this is the end fruits. I'm not anti-government. I'm pro-government because our government allowed me to do this. Government type, foreign government, entity type. Got port authority, transit authority, interstate authority. This is not common to people. But I didn't do it so that I could get ahead. I did it so that they can't stomp on us. And now I'm like, crap, do I have to come out the shadows? Yes, I think I do. I think I do. There'll be more to come, and if you're interested, I'll drop more knowledge stuff like this on my Subscribe Star, Informal Warfare. It's just $2 a month. I really ain't trying to do this to get wealthy, man. And honestly, I wouldn't even charge anything. But I want to put in research. I want to put in time. I want to give you guys quality. I'm not no leader, man. This ain't no Malcolm X type movement, man. But I'll tell you this much. I know you're tired of the tyranny. I bet you didn't even know the freedoms that you do have. And those real constitutional sheriffs and those real constitutional judges and those real constitutional chief police, mayors, councilmen. I mean, it's like we can do this. We can take our government back. And it's not even take our government back or take our country back. We need to realize, first of all, that we've been taken over. So, but what existed to our understanding has always been corrupt. So this is bringing it back to the forefront of its initial institution, its initial idea. America is the great experiment of self-government. I am one individual. Young black man, if you want to call it that. It doesn't even matter. I'm a human being. I'm a creation of the Most High Almighty Creator. And I went in search one day of any authority that was higher than that of the Word of the Creator. And I didn't find any. Peace and blessings.